prepared to make profits when the market is up or the market is down. You can do this for only $49.95 a month. Learn how to invest in the market. Get daily coaching guidance on your investments. Step of putting profits in your pocket. With philsgang.com, you just log on and get daily instructions on how to invest in the market. You don't have to worry about long-term contracts or hidden fees. Plus, all philsgang.com material is archived, so just log on and enjoy the ride to profits. philsgang.com. Go to philsgang.com or give them a call today at 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Be sure to watch the Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on various devices like smartphones, tablets, your computer, and more. Get free access to the Phil's Gang Show right in your hands at home or on the go. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com and click on the Listen Live link. And we'll see you on the charts.
Phil's Gang, we're here again. It is summer again, another year. Same thing, just different players. Greece is slipping down a slippery slope. They're going broke. Obama, he's going to raise. Of course, he lied to us, say he wasn't going to. Food prices are skyrocketing. You're going to be paying more for hot dogs and hamburgers than you ever did before. They tell us there's no inflation. And the Fed, hey, they're going to raise rates in September. Well, they always tell us they're going to raise rates, and they never do. But you know what? Young or old, we're here to reach out to you. Retirement is the main we're having. Even if you're 35 years old, you're going to think, oh, that's a long time. Well, you don't have to worry about it. Oh, yes, you do. Check out Phil's Gang. Whether you're young, whether you're old, doesn't matter. We're all going to reach the same retirement. Let me reach out and help you. That's philsgang.com. Give us a call if you're concerned about living the same lifestyle you became accustomed to while working.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. At philsgang.com, we promote core technicals and chart analysis that enables each Phil's Gang member to be the best investor they can be. At philsgang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the Phil's Gang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This is what philsgang.com does. And Wall Street maverick Phil Grande. For over 15 years, Phil coaches and teaches. Stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest in themselves by following Phil's format and recommendations. At philsgang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. For 15 years, Phil Grande has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Every day I talk to you about the PT2 app. It's a chart that tells you when to buy, it turns green, when to sell, it turns red. It sounds so simplistic, so easy, it doesn't even sound real. But you know what? Technology. That's what you got to look at today. Technology. It does work. philsgang.com, my PT2 chart.
Gang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Timing is everything in life, and to be successful in the stock market, timing requires being in at the right time and out at the right time. At philsgang.com, teaches and coaches you on stocks to identify and how to wisely time your investments. With Phil's technical analysis, you'll learn chart indicators and learn how to recognize patterns. Plus, you learn to identify those patterns so you can time the market to buy or short the market. Novice for expert. For investors who need cutting-edge stock market information that gives a strategic advantage that no one else has, philsgang.com is your only source to making consistent profits in the stock market. For a daily education in timing the stock market and making profit, PillsGang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Or log on to PillsGang.com.
Some girls wish to grow up and be a princess. Others to simply grow up. May and Bailey are friends battling kidney cancer at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We developed a treatment for their cancer that's helping kids like them across America.
What I wish for?
What's that, honey?
My hair back. And no more cancer.
Well, girls, St. Jude is working on that.
Donate now at stjude.org or shop wherever you see the St. Jude logo.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Wall Street Radio Network with your host, Phil Grande.
You say that to
No, and then if you go on, Matt, see, that's what you don't do.
I said I'm using...
Excuse me, Matt, because you're the media and you do the same thing. The next sentence was, he is a war hero. I said that. I want to play it, and you don't want to play it.
Well, why would you say the first thing?
Excuse me.
Why would you say the first part?
Savannah started it off by saying, I said that he wasn't a war hero. I didn't say that. And if you would have let it run just another 3 seconds, you would have said that I said very clearly he is a war hero.
John McCain goes, oh boy, Trump makes my life difficult. He had 15,000 crazies show up. Crazies. He called them all crazy. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you. Do you agree with that? He's a war hero because
he's a war hero because he was captured. Trump did say he's a war hero, but when he started out, his narrative was clearly, hey, I don't think he's a war hero because he got captured. What happened, he was flippant, and then he knew immediately, he was smart enough to figure out immediately, man, I just screwed up. I better reverse pretty quickly. And of course, the press is not going to give him, a mulligan. They're just going to go after him. That's what's going on. Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, out to Wall Street Radio Network. You know, it's amazing how that is the big deal. That was all over the news. Yeah. And I'm going, wait a minute. I think the bigger news, the one who has to give the apology, is the president and Valerie Jarrett for not lowering the flag at the White House. I think that is far more a problem, far more serious than a battle between Trump and McCain. They're adults. Let them work it out. Let them work it out. But I think the fact that Obama didn't lower the flag, I don't get that at all. Do you? I mean, how insulting is that? Now, that's what we should be outraged. We should be outraged over that, and we should be asking him, and the press should be asking the president, and mostly Valerie Jarrett, for an apology to the families of Marines and sailor that got killed. Ridiculous. There's the apology. But they're not even covering that. You notice they're not even covering that? Now here you have Obama and Valerie Jarrett, Iranian-born, communist Muslim. She orders, an Obama order, that the House, the White House, be lit up in the gay flag colors, celebrating their Supreme Court victory, allowing gay marriage. And there you have splashed across the White House, you had the rainbow of the gay flag. But the 5 Marines don't deserve having the flag at half-staff. In fact, it was even worse than that. The Marines at the White House to put the flag, they were going to do it. They just thought they would do it. And they were ordered to stand down. They were ordered to stand down. Can you believe that? Bush, he lowered the flag many times. I can't remember the one massacre that he lowered the flag. I can't remember the name of the people. But he did. He lowered the flag. I mean, all of Tennessee lowered the flag. People all around the country lowered the flag in honor of these Marines. But he ignored them. He just ignored it. I don't get it. Don't you think that is far more serious than Trump taking a shot at McCain? McCain is a hero. Not dumb. He knows he screwed up. Sometimes his mouth goes faster than his brain, okay? He knows he screwed up. I mean, a hero. Here's a guy. His father was an admiral. He could have got out of prison, out of that prison camp 3 years earlier, and he decided to stay in the camp. He didn't want to take advantage because his father was the admiral. So, yeah, he is a war hero. Yes, he was trying to be funny. That was it, but this is far more serious. Far more serious also is, of course, our economy. Now, let's get to this first.
Donald Trump didn't say anything to denigrate John McCain's military service. He did criticize his service in the Senate, where John McCain teamed up with Bernie Sanders to ensure that no one is held responsible in the Obama administration, Veterans Administration scandal, in which 1,000 men and women died waiting for medical care.
And there you go again. I think it's far more serious to the press. Why isn't the press on top of Obama and Valerie Jarrett? As I said, they didn't lower the flag at the White House. They snubbed the 5 Marines at the White House. And why aren't they apologizing for the VA? They've done nothing to fix the VA. Nothing.
The remarks were so crude, ignorant, personal, completely unnecessary. Politics is about addition. You want to support you in the party. This is John McCain is someone the Republican Party nominated for president, 7 years ago. He has a following in the party. Trump ought to want those people to come to him. They won't now. A lot of Trump fans said, I like Donald Trump, but this is beyond the pale. And I think that reaction will be quite widespread and will be quite damaging. He needs to apologize, and it remains to be seen if he's got sense enough to do that.
No, he's not going to apologize. He doesn't need to apologize. The reason that people are going to go to Trump, even with that remark, because of the problem we're having in this country. Brett, I like him, but he doesn't get it either. The guy makes $10 a year. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. The people are going to Trump because he says what he says. He says what people would like to say. He says, but they don't have a microphone. He says what every Republican politician would love to say, but wouldn't dare say it. And when he says it, the Republicans say, oh man, I would love to say that. Oh God, would I have loved to have said that. And then you get these people like Perry and the rest of them and who are jumping on Trump. They should just keep quiet. Just move on. Just do your thing. Trump is not going to go away because of what he said about McCain. I'm telling you that right now. Not going to happen.
In the case of many of our veterans, when Mr. Trump said that he prefers to be with people who are not captured, well, the great honor of my life was to serve in the company of heroes. I'm not a hero, but those who are my senior ranking officers, people like Colonel Bud Day, Congressional Medal of Honor winner, and those that inspired us to do things that we otherwise wouldn't have been capable of doing. Those are the people that I think he owes me.
Yeah, I disagree. Let's just move on. I think he screwed up. But if he starts apologizing, he's smart. Then in the apology. He didn't apologize. It didn't come from his heart and all that crap. No. Let's move on. I want the press to ask Valerie Jarrett and the president, why did they tell the Marines at the White House when they were going to go put the flag up to stand down? That's what I want to know. That's far worse. It is 15 past the hour here on Phil's Gang. Take a look at the market when we get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com. Give them a call at 877-600-GANG. At philsgang.com, we promote core technical that enables each Phil's Gang member to be the best investor they can be. At philsgang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the Phil's Gang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This is what philsgang.com does, and no one does it better than the off-the-Wall Street maverick, Phil Grande. For over 15 years, coaches and teaches that stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest in themselves by following Phil's format and recommendations. At philsgang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. And for over 15 years, Phil Grande has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, gang. Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I hear investors say they're afraid to get back into the stock market. Well, I don't blame you, but you're missing out on a great opportunity. At philsgang.com, we take away that fear. We take away the risk of investing. At philsgang.com, we offer a different investment program that can help you to implement strategy for short-term and long-term investing success. No matter if the market is up, you can follow me with a spider. Or we have a program for the working investor, someone who's busy all day, don't have time to dedicate to investing. A perfect program for you. No matter what the program, philsgang.com, our mission is to make you a better investor. For more information, go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Why aren't you using the spiders? Why are you paying 63% of the money you saved as a fee? 401k, you are paying in fees 63% of the money that you saved. That is crazy. Why don't you switch to the spiders? Join my gang, Phil's Gang, and do what millions of people do. Use the spiders. 500 best stocks in the world.
Find out more at philsgang.com or at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Timing is everything in life, and to be successful in the stock market, timing requires being in at the right time and out at the right time. At philsgang.com, Phil Grande teaches and coaches you on stocks to identify and how to wisely time your investments. With Phil's technical analysis, you'll learn chart indicators and learn how to recognize patterns. Plus, you learn to identify those patterns so you can time the market to buy or short the market. Novice for expert. For investors who need cutting-edge stock market information that gives a strategic advantage that no one else has, philsgang.com is your only source to making consistent profits in the market. For a daily education in timing the stock market and making profits, go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-G. That's 877-600-4264. Or log on to philsgang.com.
Some girls wish to grow up and be a princess. Other girls wish to simply grow up. May and Bailey are friends battling kidney cancer at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We developed a treatment for their cancer that's helping kids like them across America.
You know what I wish for?
What's that, honey?
My hair back. And no more cancer.
Well, girls, St. Jude is working on that.
Donate now at stjude.org or shop wherever you see the St. Jude logo.
At PhilsGang.com, we promote core technicals and chart analysis that enables each PhilsGang member to be the best investor they can be. At PhilsGang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the PhilsGang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This is what PhilsGang.com does, and no one does it better than the off-the-Wall Street maverick, Phil Grande. For over 15 years, Phil coaches and teaches that stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest in themselves, following Phil's format and recommendations. At PhilsGang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. And for over 15 years, Phil Grande has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by the Phil's Gang video channel on YouTube.com. Stock Corner is brought to you by the Phil's Gang video channel. Go to philsgang.com, click on the video channel graphic, and check out Phil's free videos on the market and current events.
That's right. Go to my video. Go to philsgang.com, and it's free. And just go to my site, and you'll see my up-to-date videos. Now, if you remember, about 5 days ago, 6 days ago, I said, why don't you follow me on my channel that will identify for me when the institutions that own GEO, this was GEO that dropped GEO dropped 25%. Go to my site right now, philsgang.com. Click on Watch Live, and you can see dropped where it turned green to red, and when it turned green to red, she dropped all the way down 25%. Now, again, if you're a gang member, when it turned red, you would have shorted it so you had money on the way down. But let's say you didn't. Now, I told you a few days ago, gang, and just follow me with GEO. I had two of them. I had GEO, that's GEO Group, and I have another one, I'll put it up for you right now, CXW. Both of these just turned green and went from, same thing, GEW dropped about 25%, and it just turned green. It's been green for 3 days now. Now, here's the interesting thing. Both of these, they build around the country, and they run them. But here's the beautiful thing about this chart that I designed that identifies for you when you're going to see the institutions turn around and buy stock. Okay? That's all you care about. You just want to know when Vanguard's going to buy, or BlackRock, Price, or Bank of New York. The ones who own most of the majority of the stock in GEO, when you see them buy, it turns green. And here's the confirmation. I have a crossover red over yellow, see it? And then it went $3, and then it went up to $34, and $, remained red, and then finally at 36 it turned green. So now it's almost up 3%. Now what do you get in a bank? You get less than 0.5%. Here's 3% in a few days, and it's still going up. And we're going to stay in it as long as it stays green, because it's telling me the institutions that own this company, they've gone back in. After they've taken their money out, they've gone back in to buy it. Now look at that. Now here's the nice thing about it. You can buy it, and when we buy at $36, we put in a stop, S-T-O-P, at 35, which means if it came back and stopped at 35, we would only lost $100. Now we're going to take and move that up today to $36. So we'll never lose more than $100. So we keep making money and lose. We know exactly what our position is. Check it out. Join the gang. Go to my site tonight, philsgang.com, or go there right now, and you'll see GEO, and it's a beautiful thing. That's how it works. Okay, I told you this would work, didn't I? And so join the gang and follow me. You still have time to get in GEO with me. Okay? All right, and all I ask is you help St. Jude. If you make money on it, just help St. Jude and send them a check, okay? Great. All right, I want you to listen to this. Listen to this.
If you take a look at this point in time in this recovery, compare it to the recoveries of the 74, 82, 1990 recessions, we are 10 to 12 million jobs behind those recessions and the jobs that they created at this point in the recovery. The real unemployment rate in this country is not 5.4%. When you look at the low labor force participation rate, our unemployment rate today is real terms, what the American people feel, is closer to 15%.
That's right. And if you take a look at it, Yellen keeps coming out. The economy is doing terrific. That we're going to raise rates by the end of this year, probably this fall, because of autos, because the labor jobs are much better. Auto sales. She points to auto sales, and she points to housing as the recovery. Well, autos is not a recovery. There's no recovery in autos. There's no recovery in housing. You know, she's mistaking a recovery for a bubble. You see?
Consumer spending has picked up.
No, it
and
hasn't.
Sales of motor vehicles in May and June were strong, suggesting that many households have both the wherewithal and the confidence to purchase big-ticket items.
Now, they don't have the wherewithal or confidence to buy a car. What they're doing is this is not a recovery. This is a subprime bubble. Don't mistake it. Auto sales is a result of a combination of cheap loans, easy credit. Anyone with a credit score of 600 or less can get an auto loan. No money down, 7 years to pay. In most, remember how leases used to be reserved for people that had good credit? Because what they used to do, they try to get a more expensive car. They had good credit, so they'd give them a lease. That was the idea behind the lease. Now leases are just the opposite. When people got real terrible credit, they give them a lease. Matter of fact, most of all this auto sales that we hear about are leases. They're not sales. But here's my point. You can't take auto loans. Hear what she says? She's calling it a recovery. People have the wherewithal. What, they can breathe and fog up a mirror? Someone with 600 credit score can fog up a mirror? This is what is behind our economy? And you give them a car for 7 years? For 7 years? And this is what she says is behind our economy? What are you, nuts? That's a bubble. Housing. What's she talking about? Housing. What is she, nuts? This is crazy. If you take a look at housing, especially she keeps going back to 2014. Housing, what is it? You had hedge funds like Blackstone and Evergreen getting hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars at zero interest. They went out and they bought 200,000 homes at a clip to rent them, not to sell them, to rent them. So you're telling me by giving Blackstone and hedge funds zero interest to buy 200,000-300,000 houses at a time to rent, that tells us the economy is getting better because they're renting? Wasn't it ownership that told us the economy was getting better? This is what she's basing the economy on? What, are you nuts? Hey, we'll be right back. Join my gang, Phil's Gang. Follow me on GEO.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. What is Phil's Gang? philsgang.com is a subscription website service that host Phil Grande has been teaching and providing daily stock investment recommendations for over 15 years, all in its customers, educated investors, and helping the kids at St. Jude Hospital. If you want to take charge of your financial future, then do not wait any longer. For only $49, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Why aren't you using the spiders? Why are you paying 63% of the money you saved as a fee? 401k, you are paying in fees 63% of the money that you saved. That is crazy. Why don't you switch to the spiders? Join my gang, Phil's Gang, and do what millions of people do. Use the spiders. 500 best stocks in the world.
Find out more at philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Hi, Phil Grande of Phil's Gang. We're here. It is summer again, another year. Same thing, just different players. Greece is slipping down a slippery slope. They're going broke. Obama, he's going to raise premiums. Of course, he lied to us, say he wasn't going to. This guy paying more for hot dogs and hamburgers than he ever did before. They tell us there's no inflation. And the Fed, hey, they're going to raise rates in September. Well, they always tell us they're going to raise rates, and they never do. But you know what? We're here to reach out to you. Retirement is the main crisis we are having. Even if you're 35 years old, you're going to think, oh, that's a long time. Well, you don't have to worry about it. Oh, yes, you do. Check out Phil's Gang. Whether you're young, whether you're old, doesn't matter. We're all going to reach the same place, retirement. Let me reach out, and that's philsgang.com. Give us a call if you're concerned about living the same lifestyle you became accustomed to while working.
For more information, to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Hi, gang. Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Time after time, I hear investors say they are afraid to get back into the stock market. Well, I don't blame you, but you're missing out on a great opportunity. At Phil's Gang, take away that fear. We take away the risk of investing. At philsgang.com, we offer a different investment program that can help you to implement strategy for short-term and long-term investment. No matter if the market is up, you can follow me with a spider. Or we have a program for the working investor, someone who's busy all day, don't have time to dedicate to investing. A perfect program for you. No matter what the program, Phil's Gang, philsgang.com, our mission is to make you a better investor. For more information, go to philsgang.com. Gang.com. Call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. What is Phil's Gang? Phil'sGang.com is a subscription website service that host Phil Grande has been teaching and providing daily stock investment recommendations for over 15 years, all in the name of making its customers educated investors and helping the kids at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you want to take charge of your financial future, then do not wait any longer. For only $49.95, become a Phil's Gang. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Timing is everything in life, and to be successful in the stock market, timing requires being in at the right time and out at the right time. At philsgang.com, Phil Grande teaches and coaches you on stocks to identify and how to wisely time your investments. With Phil's technical analysis, you'll learn chart indicators and learn how to recognize patterns. Plus, you learn to identify those patterns so you can time the market to buy. For investors who need cutting-edge stock market information that gives a strategic advantage that no one else has, philsgang.com is your only source to making consistent profits in. For a daily education in timing the stock market and making profits, go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Or log on to philsgang.com.
I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Every day I talk to you about the PT2 chart. What is that? It's a chart that tells you when to buy, it turns green, when to sell, it turns red. So simplistic, so easy, it doesn't even sound real. But you know what? It works. Technology. That's what you got to look at today. Technology. It does work. philsgang.com, my PT2 chart.
Go to philsgang.com. Give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? philsgang.com or give us a call 877-600-4264.
The Wall Street Shuffle.
Chairman Yellen makes a big deal in her testimony about transparency. And yeah, there's been some transparency, but the point of transparency is useful information, right? The Fed no longer has credibility. And you can see that, the divergence between the futures markets and the Fed's own projections about what they're going to do about interest rates. This is a huge problem.
And she's been lying all along about interest rates. In fact, that's the reason for the plunge in metals, especially gold. It hit its lowest level since 2010 at $1,112 an ounce. Now, where have we been on gold and where have we been on silver? Well, we've been short. I want everyone to do a special video. It's going to be free. I'm going to show you how on pause, if you were a gang member and you had PT2, when it turned red and it had a crossover confirmation, if you shorted it with us, that's about a 30% drop. Cut that in half. You even had a 15% return. What is wrong in that? I'm going to show you how we did that. I'm also going to switch and show you, I told you about GEO, how to get into GEO. And GEO had a 25% drop. Then I said when it turns green, we will buy it. So when it was at 34, it was red. When it was at $35, it was still red. Near 36, still red. Then it turned green. So we bought it when the institutions were buying enough of it. So I'm going to show you GEO, how we're in that now, and how we shorted silver POS, and it's down 30%. So go to my site tonight, philsgang.com, or go to YouTube, be on my videos, okay, and it would be free. And you'll look at it and you'll say, yeah, I think I want to do that. Then join the gang. It's not too late to get into GEO with it. Let's go back to what he was saying about Toomey was saying about Yellen. You know what? She is so bad. It's incredible. She doesn't know what she's doing. Gold is down. Why is gold down? Why is silver down? Why are the metals down? Because everybody is listening to her and believing her that the economy is getting better. And so what she's saying is the economy is getting better, so therefore I'm going to raise rates a quarter point. I'm going to do that in September. Remember, this is part of her pretend and extend. She never does raise the rates, and she won't raise the rates. She can't raise the rates. We know that. Who's she fooling? She's not fooling me. I told you it wouldn't happen in June. Everybody on CNBC said it would happen in June. I said, no, it's not. It won't happen in June because the PE ratio on the S&P is so bloated right now. The PE ratios on the S&P are at 19. And the only way that you can justify it at 19 is to artificially keep interest rates low. You can't raise interest rates. The government doesn't want to pay much more than what it's paying right now, 4%. And here's the problem. Every time she says she's going to raise rates, people come in and buy the 10-year treasury. We have two problems. We have Americans who are dumping their savings, and instead of getting 0.5%, they move it over to the 10-year treasury to loan to the government 2.4%. Then we have China coming in and loaning money at 2.4%. We have Saudi Arabia. We have all these people coming in Europe. They're dumping their euros. You got to buy the dollars to buy the 10-year treasury. You can't buy it in yen, so you got to switch over to the dollar. Every time that happens, when the dollar keeps going up, your metals go down. So on my PT2, you could see what a ride we had down. Because every time she lies, the economy is not here. I told you, the auto industry is ridiculous. That is ridiculous to say the economy is doing good because of the auto industry. It's a subprime market. It's just like housing. Giving people 7-year loans? Then the housing market. It's a joke. We didn't have a housing market. 2 or 3 hedge funds on Wall Street buying houses, which means they're renting. They bought them to rent. They're buying to sell. That'd be great. Even now, when we get our housing numbers, we get even our construction numbers, but they're not. They're not good. Housing's not good. Remember that all those numbers came from that buying. Those weren't conventional buys. Those were all the hedge funds buying. And today, even when you get the construction number, new home construction, how high it is, it's mostly FHA. All terrible loans. Terrible loans. Now look at the labor. She says, oh, we're going to raise rates because auto sales are good. I explained those to you. They're no good. Housing, I explained housing. That's no good. And now I explained labor. Labor's no good. How can she say labor is good? Are you kidding? We don't have a growing economy because the labor is so bad. Job growth is stuck. It's stuck. Well, all the auto sales are going on. People they're not making money. They're stuck. We have wages at a 40-year low. We have mostly part-time. So that's not working. And why do you think every time when she gets to the point she's supposed to raise rates, she extends them? This is crazy. FHA. This amazes me. Now, the Frank Dodd bill, if you go to try to buy a house now, no longer does it take you 30 days from the time you put a deposit on to close. It used to take 30 days. Those days are gone. If you work hard, and especially if you own your own business, it's going to be hard. If you have an 800 score, if you have a good full-time job, it's going to be very difficult for you to. However, if you don't have any money, you don't have a job, you have lousy credit, you're going to do good. You can go to the FHA. That's right, FHA. You need hardly any savings. You have bad credit. They'll fund anybody now. The FHA will. They'll fund anybody. And what they have done at the FHA, Obama dropped insurance, the annual mortgage insurance, by 50 basis points. Sound like money? That's $900 a year. That means they're probably going to finance an additional 45,000 homes because of that drop in price. But what did they do to a small businessman who is self-employed? What they do to you if you're making $65,000, $85,000 a year and your wife's making another $45,000? They screwed the small business person. They're going to make it so hard for you. They're going to make it so hard for you. Calculating now is debt to income ratio. They changed it. It's gone from 45 down to 43. So your debt to income ratio is calculated by adding your monthly debt, such as your credit card payments, your loans, future monthly house payments, dividing all that monthly income, multiplying that by 100. And you can't have anything more over 43. So that's your monthly living expenses, mortgage, taxes, credit card debt, loans, all that. So you better not have more than 43%. But here, it's going to take you 90 days to 120 days to close that loan. When you go to the bank, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. You know, once when you lived in a city like Las Vegas, or you lived in a city like San Francisco or New York or Boston, where it was expensive, push debt to income to 48%, even 50%. Those days are gone. Let's say you have $100,000 worth of deferred student loans, and you're not even to start having to make payments on that, really anytime soon. Under Dodd-Frank now, the banks will take them into account right now, even before they come due. That's going to go against that 43%. They're going to be looking at your utility bills. The debt to income from 45 to 43, the 43 maximum, that's going to screw the first-time home buyer big time, and the small business. The self-employed person used to be able to get an approval for a mortgage based on gross income. That figure used to often be higher. They can't use that anymore. This is a nightmare, and the paperwork is a nightmare. So make sure you got bad credit, and it's easy.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Phil's Gang, we're here again. It is summer again, another year. Same thing, just different players. Greece is slipping down a slippery slope. They're going broke. Obama, he's going to raise premiums. Of course, he lied to us, say he wasn't going to. Food prices are skyrocketing. You're going to be paying more for hot dogs and hamburgers than you ever did before. They tell us there's no inflation. And the Fed, hey, they're going to raise rates in September. Well, they always tell us they're going to raise rates, and they never do. But you know what? Young or old, we're here to reach out to you. Retirement is the main crisis we are having. Even if you're 35 years old, you're going to think, oh, that's a long time. Well, you don't have to worry about it. Oh, yes, you do. Check out Phil's Gang. Whether you're young, whether you're old, doesn't matter. We're all going to reach the same place, retirement. Let me reach out. That's philsgang.com. Give us a call if you're concerned about living the same lifestyle you became accustomed to while working.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-6-GANG. 877-4264.
Be sure to watch Show with Phil Grande. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Devices like smartphones, tablets, your computer, and more. Get free access to the Phil's Gang Show right at home or on the go. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com and click on the Listen Live link. And we'll see you on the charts.
At philsgang.com, we promote and chart analysis that enables each Phil's Gang member to be the best investor they can be. At philsgang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the Phil's Gang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This is what philsgang.com does, and no one does it better than the off-the-Wall Street maverick, Phil Grande. For 15 years, Phil coaches and teaches that stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest by following Phil's format and recommendation. At philsgang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. And for over 15 years, he has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Some girls wish to grow up and be a princess. Other girls wish to simply grow up. May and Bailey are battling at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We developed a treatment for their cancer that's helping kids like them in America.
You know what I wish for?
What's that, honey?
My hair back. And no more cancer.
Well, girls, St. Jude is working on that.
Donate now at stjude.org or shop wherever you see the St.
Stock market corrections may seem like random occurrences, but the fact is, market corrections are bound to happen. But what if coming in advance? What if you could be prepared to short the market before it's too late? Don't get caught off guard. Become a philsgang.com member. Daily market information, investment strategy. Be prepared to make profits when the market is up or the market is. You can do this for only $49.95 a month. Learn how to invest in the market, get daily coaching guidance on your investments, and take the first step of putting profits in your pocket. With philsgang.com, you just log on and get daily instructions on how to invest in the market. You don't have to worry about long-term contracts or hidden fees. Plus, all philsgang.com material is archived, so just log on and enjoy the ride to philsgang.com. Go to philsgang.com or give them a call today at 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by Phil's Talking Trader Stock Charts.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Remember, now I'm going to have a special video. It's going to be free tonight. Go to philsgang.com and go to where it says right the homepage. And it's going to be a special video. I'm going to show you how we bought GEO when it turned green. Also can see when it turned red, how if you were shorting, you'd already have made over 20% return or more. But let's just focus on when it turned green. It just turned green. I told you a few weeks ago, I said, as soon as this turns green, we'll get into it. And you still have time to get into it. And I'll put up my PT1 on that. And I'm also going to show you silver, POS, that we've been shorting POS and how we knew to short POS. Now, why is this so good? This tool that I use, this software that I use that gives me a color code that follows the institutional money in and out, the PT2, is because we don't care what the market's going to do. We could care less. Of course, we care for the country, but we could care less because we're going to be on the right side of the transaction because we're following the guys who will always be on the right side of the transaction with the ability of this PT2. Check it out. It works. But again, if we have this woman, Aunt B, is so stupid. She is trying to tell us the economy is doing well, and now we're going to put this 25 basis point in September. But here's my point. They've been telling us they're going to put up 25 basis points for 5 years. If you're telling me for 5 held back, just moving up 25 basis points, and you're trying to tell me the economy is good now because of auto loans that you're giving to anybody, and the labor market has never been so bad, and you're trying to make it out to be good, And you're trying to make out a housing market that's not there. It's all rental income with big hedge funds buying all the homes, renting them back to you. She's crazy, this woman. Our revenue sales are declining, earnings are declining, industrial production, we got that last week, declining, and she's trying to tell us things are better and she's going to raise rates. No, she's not. But going back to the housing for a moment, it's even harder to buy a home. What they're doing is they're turning this economy. Everything is for the people who don't work hard. They're pushing everything to a person who doesn't work hard. Obama and now, of course, Clinton, she's doing the same thing. She wants to, when she becomes president, she's going to do exactly what Obama. You got Sanders, same thing. It's all to disincentivize work. So now you want to get a house, don't have good credit, and you're lazy and you're a bum, you can go to FHA and get a house. I'm not saying every person that goes there is a bum. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is they make it really easy for people who don't work hard or who don't have the money. They make it easy for them. But a self-employed person, or if you're making, say, $65,000 a year, your wife's making another $25,000 a year, go try to get a loan. They made it impossible for you under the Dodd. You used to be able to get an approval for mortgages based on gross income if you were self-employed. And that figure is higher than your net, most of the time, higher than the net income statement on your tax filings. Now, under the ability to repay provision, the self-employed will need to turn in at least 2 years worth of tax and banking documentation, plus anything bankers want. And that's why it's going to take you now, instead of 30 days, up to 60, even 120 days to get your loan approved. You'll have to, and you got to account for deposits. Every deposit you made, you got to account for any deposit over $500. So you're really screwed. You know that loan that your roommate gave you that one time? You better hope they got the receipt for that, or cancel check for that, because you're not going to be able to get a loan. What they have done for the self-employed person or the person who's worked hard and makes a good income is unbelievable. It's so hard now under all these new rules. But if you have nothing and you don't work, you get the house just like a car. Anything you want, we'll give it to you. It's just it's terrible what's going on. Terrible what's going on. I mean, this just makes no sense. You know, and again, we were here. Listen to this cut.
You know, the economy as a whole, you can complain about this or that being sluggish, but it's not in in emergency mode. I mean, we've got unemployment to the natural rate. Inflation's a little low, but probably come back up to target. So this is a situation where we have to start thinking ahead more about where we're going to be 2 years from now. Mm-hmm. And you've got to be thinking about, what's the interest rate trajectory as the economy continues to improve. Unemployment.
The economy is not improving. If this is what they call improving, auto loans, unbelievable. Look, Hillary Clinton is proposing the same policies and following Obama's policies, the policy that destroyed our economy, which was done on redistribution of wealth. And Sanders, same thing. They want to increase, here we go again, increase minimum wage. That's all they keep talking about. And they want to revise the overtime policies. And it just, again, it's everything that is, they're all about collectivism. They hate individualism. And under this platform that Sanders has and Obama has and Hillary has, their platform. And again, remember, Hillary's platform is a carbon copy of Obama. So if you elect Hillary Clinton, you're getting another 8 years of Obama. Remember that. Isn't that crazy? But here's what's funny. She's out there, and listen to her this weekend. She's talking about income inequality. Well, wait a minute. It was her party that caused the income inequality. It was her party. It was Obama. Through QE. It caused 85% of all personal income gains to go to the top 1%. It was her party. It was QE that did that. Taking $3 trillion and directing it right into the stock market to push it up. It was her party that made sure that the Federal Reserve gave to enough money to buy their own shares back. to push up their earnings. They buy their own for companies buy their own shares back, push up the earnings to push up the stock, all fake. And yet here they are. It's the same thing over and over. They want to take from the rich. They want to give to the poor. It's what they're all about. They want progressive taxation. They want estate taxes, refundable tax credit. They want to double down on welfare and disability checks. They want to take the unemployment for the states. Instead of 27 weeks, they now get 87 weeks. Pelosi says when you do that, when you go from 27 to 87 weeks, it's good for the economy. Good for the economy? To disincentivize work, to make people stay home on 87 weeks? Are you kidding? See, these socialists like Sanders and Obama and Clinton, these redistributive policies, give you nothing but lower economic growth. That's why the first quarter, 2015, our GDP economic growth was negative. And now going to our second quarter, same thing, negative. Now, they're not going to let it go negative because 2 quarters negative back-to-back is recession. So they're going to make sure they rig the numbers so that doesn't happen. But know that it is. The idea of taking money away from the high earners, take the incentive away from them to work hard, is going to destroy this country. And that's what they plan on doing, Sanders and Clinton. It's going to be very, very hard for a Republican to win the White House. Very hard. Because, as I said, 10 years ago, Sanders could not fill up a phone booth with enough people if he was giving a speech. Now he's filling stadiums, which goes to show you people want socialism. Because this administration for the last 8 years, what have they done? That's all they've done is worked on socialism, redistribution of wealth. What they work on is handouts, not hand up. See, they don't believe in opportunities. See, they don't believe giving somebody an opportunity. They don't understand that producing more is the first step toward becoming wealthier. Both for us, the individual, and the country. They don't understand that. And they don't understand that when you accomplish those kind of goals, and it's so cost effective, and when people do better, the country does better. They don't get that. Redistribution policy is all they get. Welfare programs, higher income taxes, crazy. It's going to be very difficult for a Republican. Make sure tonight you go to my site, whether you're Republican or Democrat, and look what we did with PAS and GEO. I'm sure you want to join.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.